long-term investors newsletter is only for equity or options. You can play the charts that I'm. Yeah. So for those of you guys who don't know, I have a Substack now just dedicated to long-term equity setups, purchases. And you could look at this as like signals, but it's basically going to be discussing the averages that I would like to get, where I would like to buy, trades that I'm in now or how I'm managing them. So, and then it'll be open to your guys' comments and questions and stuff like that. We record. Yeah, I just recorded it. All right, I just started recording. So if you're watching this, what's up? Today, you gotta get on your ass. Wait till similar day this afternoon. Baba. I mean, it has it. Yeah, it looks good. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It does look good. You've got the box directly up above you that needs to be reclaimed, but good bounce retest and just above on that 131. So doesn't look bad. What do I think about the magnet tickers? Mag sevens got lots of volume, easy to trade when they set up correctly. If that's what you're talking about, SMCI. Yeah, I have to admit it does look springboardy. Was that one time the slide? It doesn't have. It's empty all up here, So and we know that the way that SMCI moves, I don't like that box, but so same overhead high, which is 32.27. And then at that point, you'll see this small pocket of empty space. And that's really where I think, there we go. Now we can see it. I think that's where that 33.50, 34.12, that's where you want to see that really strong, continuation price action. So, bro, always looking clean and proper on lives. Gotta love it. Oh, thank you. I'm in South Georgia, and I'm telling you what, the way that I dress, I'm not looking for it, but I get some looks, especially since I got these glasses. I think people assume that I'm selling something, not a workshop. That's for sure. Check out AA, old favorite. Yeah, you know what, dude? This has got to be a candidate. Yeah, you know what, dude? 24-hour. It's funny you bring this up because I just talked about it and then placed this box and got an alert on that one. You can see the alert right there, Chad. So I actually, yeah, I do like this one. I think this one's worth writing down, actually. So handy dandy notebook. Put AA on the watch list. With a book. It's got the G on the side. I got it from Universal for too much money. That's cool though. It's ribbed. Look at it. It's ribbed for your pleasure. Baby. Rap shit. More than rap shit. What are we talking about? Does Oracle look like it's wanting 160 at least? Oh, the charts move so smooth when everybody's not using them. Yeah, dude, yeah. I mean, this is the kind of trade that only your mind, right? Like, you got to come to a conclusion. The conclusion is it has empty space. It doesn't have this, which is always a preference, right? So each, leg up is likely going to be a battle of its own. You could pop up, hit this, come down, come back down and establish. Damn, I think I might be onto something there. Damn, bro, what the fuck? I just made that up. But anyway, yeah, there is a gap down there. So I mean, like, it is possible, in order to get that's a lot of empty space up there, and to go and rip through that, I think is catalyst based. So I'd be curious to see how this one behaves. Oh, the magnet stocks that Trump talked about. I don't even know what those are, my boy. I haven't looked at them. I went to Universal for the first time, and now I'm on measles watch. Cracky attacky. You sure you were at Universal? mRNA looks great. Yes, it does look good. I like it a lot. It reminds me of kind of like SoFi, which hasn't on the weekly. It looks identical, which I got to write that one down too because I have SoFi, but I haven't been doing anything with it other than just holding. And I mean, we're up, but I got to write that one down so I keep an eye on it this week. Yeah, lots of schmelting. Yeah, people talk about a big schmelter. Oh, very good. Yeah, Tesla hurt me this week looking to try to get back. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I made the mistake too, but I'm pretty glad that I pulled the plug on that trade because and for anybody, by the way, tap your guys' screen if you guys don't mind. But one of the things that I can tell you right now is, and I was talking about this on Friday, I'm only successful because I stopped trying to trade things that didn't make sense, or I had a better resiliency to being tempted by them, regardless of their names. And even as I was building a new watch list, I was like, and explaining it on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and still taking it, and it's like I have the risk to do it, but the 99% of people, 98% of people probably don't need to. But you look at like SoFi, and this is like a prime candidate. This is my strategy or part of my strategy. Lots of people's strategy, but it's like, good rotations, good break of the lows. And we're looking for that push up into empty space. And this is the consistency that I found Saturday, sorry. This is the consistency that I found is trading out of these boxes, whether it be the 4 hour, weekly, monthly, 24 hour, all that stuff. And the fact of the matter is when you look at Tesla, what is it, right? 300. So a couple of people were able to make it happen, but there's nothing of the sort, right? You have a couple of candles sideways. It's not every move is not built or pushed by this big box, this big area of volume. So it makes it difficult for trades like on this to work out without just good time, and that's really the only option you have on something like that. Um, Rocket Lab. I talked about this one on Friday. I mean, it looks fine to me. Obviously, trajectory is up. Floors are being recovered. There's empty space to 98. I'm actually tempted to take a look at this one as well. I might have to write this one down as a watch list stock. Nice hat. Do you know this hat's from? MP's cheap. I don't like this one as much, just because of how much structure's up above you. But I think the last time we talked about it, that was 53 was one of the floors. You just got to take these things step by step, and if you do that, you'd be all right. So I think the floor here and cost basis of 58 need to be broken, and then we can see continuation of the upside into that empty space. Which channel trading, it's not bad. What's your favorite movie to make out of the box? What the fuck does that mean? What are you saying to me? It's not Sunday, no. Cold pop. What is my favorite movie? Um, Inception's always been one of my favorites. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is one of my absolute favorites. Fuck, I can't think of any movies right now. Watch a lot of movies. So, um, Spotless Mind. What the fuck is it called? Something. Eternal Sunshine. Um, is one of my favorite. I'm blanking right now. So if that's what you're talking about, Family Guy. Yeah, Grandma's Boy. Classic. Agreed. The chart is up. I mean, no. I mean, listen. I'm not taking anything away. As long as you have a good stop loss on MP. Magnetize your socks. I don't know. Will this be posted? Yeah, I suppose. Um, yeah, for those of you guys, again, make sure to go follow my Substack. You can subscribe to the detailed post or just the free post. But it's just Potter Stocks on Substack. Check it out. It's inside of the Discord in the announcement page. I gotta say, you are an amazing individual, but please post this as soon as you get off. What does that mean? But please, what is the but for? I would have taken the compliment and then just the request. But now I'm self conscious. What does the but mean? Are you saying I'm flawed? You call me lazy, dude? Oh, dude, PLCR is fucking. I said 174 was my target on this one, and I actually think that this one has a legitimate target of 195, 194. Straight up. I'm just saying, you always take a minute before you post it. It builds anticipation. That one's weird. I'm gonna be honest with you. You got empty space down to 117. You have a really crispy looking channel here as well. Um, I think I see yeah, I would say the lower time frame you'd probably be able to see what that overhead resistance is, but I mean, you are holding up, you know what I mean? So if you can pop out, this thing is a legitimate candidate to try to go up and hit that 128.50. So when do you decide to cut a loss? What's the move slash indicator setting your stop? Yes, my strategy does work on crypto. Did my phone just die? Oh, fuck. Yes, my strategy works on crypto. My strategy works on fucking Pokemon charts, dude. It's just a study of how price moves and interacts. How do you see Apple playing out from building its 4-hour cost base? When I see, I'll take a look. Hold on. You ever heard of quantum immortality? Yes, I've heard of that. Like maybe I died. Do I know it's Saturday? What did I say? It's Sunday or something? It works on your heart EKG too. Yeah, it does. Yep, it does. Works on my heart. Yeah, guys, I'm just this week was ideal in some ways and not so ideal as in others. So I'm just taking a couple hours to build a little watch list. You know what I mean? Was just watching your course video earlier. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The fuck was that? I like that. That's weird. All right, Apple playing out for building as far. Oh, listen, just be ready. But for Apple, I'm trying to go back to that, our study of time, and it seems to me that, and maybe even giving this a little bit more, this could consolidate further, right? And we look at that similar time and date range, and it seems like that average, when it breaks, and look at that. So I'm thinking a little more patience should do the trick. The overhead resistance, again, sometimes if it does go and gives us a strong break, you got to take it. But my personal opinion is fall fast as fuck, fill up some empty space, or even hit the floor, and then go get it. So, yes, I'm recording this. I am recording this, yes. If you guys don't mind, this is all free. Just tap your screen as much as you can. Steven, I'll take a look at your charts in a little bit. Remind me. I gotta build my watch list too, guys. That's what I'm here to do. So I'm like actually going and looking at Quiver quant and trying to see if I can add anything. I need to put the API in here. Access Quiver's data directly through our API for yeah. Yeah, I got you. If anybody has any questions on like the strategy or anything like that, or the workshop, that's I'm just chilling right now. A little afternoon Stella, I was trying to look at some industrials, and then I'm not usually in that area, but I did see TTI talking about. They all look very familiar, or very, very alike. Actually, it's more a better way to word that. Can you explain this apple you have here, please? I just did. So just try watch this video back. I'll probably hit it up again, but hold on. Fuck, dude, that looks crazy, and it goes when it builds like this, and it's got a little channel, dude. I'm not actually, dude. This one, I might have to talk to TTI about this one. I like the tension on that one. This one, if it holds the floor like that, imagine you'll be at 20, 66, 72. That's an interesting. I don't know about the options on that one, but let's see here. Coco. All right, 1 second. Out. Out. Good lord. Oh yeah, 10K plus a contract. You got it. Ball out. Is it that bad? I didn't even see. 13 days. I mean, I don't think a 13 day. I think 41 or. At a 2,000. Yeah, but I can't see those far out of the money strikes. I wish I could see more. All strikes. Yeah, give me the strikes. So like 41 days out. Oh my god, there's $1,000 spread on that. Damn. That's an interesting setup though, regardless. What are some of your favorite triggers that cause you to make a trade? Um things like on the weekly here, like candles like that. That's what especially interested in the workshop. What can I expect as far as the layout and the flow goes? When you sign up, you'll be ushered into a Discord. In that Discord, you'll see chapters or different sections from 1 through 12 or 1 through 11 for separate classes that were held in 2024, 25, and 26. And then at that point, you'll start with that first tab where it says 1, and it's in a video format where you get to watch back the class, the slides. You see me walk through from step 1, basics, candlesticks, brokerages, what an option is, all that kind of like real basic shit. And then all the way into like my strategy, what we're looking for, options, how to pick them, all that stuff. So, and again, it's all in Google Drive, so you get to watch those videos. Yeah. And this North Georgia weather is crazier than Trump. It's raining cats and dogs with the sun out. It's been very, very stormy here, actually. Yeah, AA looked good. I looked at AA. It does look good. Yeah. I mean, the weekly looks nuts. And over 5085, you've got a shit ton of empty space up there. So, yeah, it looks good. I think 55 is a great target right now. AO's on the watch list. Yeah. Where am I scanning? I'm scanning all over the place, man. Different sector. Mostly I'm looking at different sectors right now. And quiver quantitative, kind of see where money's being put. Like you can go and look at what Trump is buying. It's fucking crazy the percentages on this dude's trade. I don't think he's had one fucking losing trade. Has he lost any money? This dude hasn't lost a fucking. Okay, never mind. Dude, he has not lost any of these. He's down like tops 2%. That's insane. Mm-mm. That doesn't look like it's going to have friendly options, but that might be a decent stock buy. I got a jam. Hmm. I'm going to set an alert on that one. That might be an equity buy over an option trade. Yeah, W inside info is true. Dude, on my birthday, this man was selling shit. Uber is the most recent purchase. I fucking hit that chart. Looks. I think I hate that chart, but oh, actually. Might kick shit like Udo. Fuck. Well, I mean, there's no denying that that's one hell of a base. That's one hell of a base. And I don't want to do confirmation bias here and drag that line somewhere where it doesn't belong. But you are maintaining that uptrend, and with that uptrend extended, I mean, could aim into the hundreds. That might be a good equity. That might get added to the if Trump just purchased it. You know, again, I'm not. I see a $92 price target there. Yeah, I actually do see opportunity on this one on Uber. So I'll probably dig a little deeper into that one and maybe add that one to the Substack because, again, I don't need a whole lot of information. I just need to know that the right people are in it and it has the right setup. And that's a fucking killer setup. Trying to message and it won't allow you? What do you mean? Why am I live on Saturday? Because I don't have anything else to do. Just chilling. It's a rainy Saturday. What's the two best on your watch list? They're all in need of reactions. mRNA is probably my favorite right now, which is surprising. But I think Nvidia can hit 250 by market conditions, man. And right now, I think one of the biggest overheads that we have on the 24-hour for Nvidia is exactly where we're at, actually. So I mean, it is possible. Yeah, I mean, with the trajectory that it has right now, and with the amount of the lack of structure overhead, I do think it is possible. Yeah, you just have a couple more things to break. So thanks for sharing the live, guys. Thanks for tapping the screen. Yeah, it does actually look really good. If you talk about Uber, Rocket Labs does have a good setup as well. We talked about that one as well. Do you also invest long term? That is what I just started this Substack for this year. The last four years for me, just buying and holding shares, has been. This last year has been the most successful year. Almost everything I've touched, I purchased Roku, and I'll go over these with you guys. And again, on my Substack, I'm going twice a month. I'm going to be updating you on stocks I'm adding to my watch list, buy triggers, profit targets. So about as close as you're going to get to a signal from me, but it's all just going to be charts and triggers for shares. So more than my rap shit. Thanks, my number got called away. Maybe nicely, so don't. Oh, sick! You're a wizard, Harry. What's up, Super Trader? Yeah, so I have an average on Roku of 94. And this has been one of the equity purchases that I've made down at the bottom. You can actually see my average right here. That's been an amazing, so kind of a surprise trade. And then Elf, which I do this probably every year or every year and a half. I bought it here, sold it up here, fell back down. I'm doing it again, but with this one with intentions to take it to 160 right now with a profit, first profit target of 122.23. So I use my strategy to do trading shares or buying shares is there is no stress involved for me when I do this because these stocks are typically institutionally backed. I don't have to worry about a whole bunch of sometimes earnings will come around the corner and I'll have to find some hedge. But yeah, it's random question, but what happened to the 180K page? I got banned for running my mouth, which I have no intention of stopping. So I'm going to probably lose this account. I just got strike 2 actually. So, what do you think of the SPY close? PD, did you swing? Speaking of, dude, look at it. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at that. It's just the most one of the more. It's one of the highest percentages we've had. 40 plus thousand was the highest percentage, but $10 to 3,340 bucks. Fucking absolutely diabolical. But the close was strong. You had a pretty strong close. You are still inside of a range, and it all really, really would like to see overnight price action help us get over 774. So, caught Celsius on the bottom, but I sold cover calls to you guys apparently. I Celsius, you probably sold them to this guy right here. $18 to 124, 588%. Don't forget when you said if we get to 160 plus on Elf, we all get free makeup. Yeah. That guy capped my upside. Damn, my bad, Navarre. Damn, how do you catch something like that? The system that I created, the system that I sit and I wait and I am patient for. It's the reason why all of my setups that I trade typically look the same on the 24-hour time frame. I am able to catch these percentages because I have a point of view on the market that not a lot of other people have, which is I understand that if the lower time frame moves the exact same way as the higher time frame, but the lower time frame is just the little gears moving the big gears, that the higher time frame setups are ultimately going to give me a higher or bigger move, more sustainable move, rather than looking at lower time frame setups. So I base my lower time frame trades on higher time frame setups, reaping maximum reward. I also target stocks that go through massive consolidation phases. This allows for me to buy option contracts that have been decayed, so they've lost an incredible amount of volume. And I do this on things like Meta, Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, AVGO, the PLTR, whatever. But I look for these type of opportunities. So SoFi is one that we're waiting on a break for right now. This is actually an equity, possible equity play. And one of the watch lists I like the most right now is mRNA, to go up and hit that $61. And then with all of this empty space, and that's another key, one of the ways that I'm able to capture these trades. And I'm really giving you the game right now, by the way, if you're new here. Because this is, in layman's terms, this is literally how I trade. I focus only on these areas with lack resistance. So you'll see like empty space like this. And I look for typically a box that has 3 or 4 more taps on the bottom, and then a close outside of the control point. Right here it was 58, 50, 60. And what I do is I buy target based contracts, so that way I am able to buy these contracts that most people don't see as reasonable strike prices. And because the majority of folks who trade options stay close to the money in order to protect themselves from things like the Greeks, I'm actually able to buy really low risk positions. And then I see these big moves coming because they lack resistance and they're coming out of areas of consolidation. So the strategy is called the Potter Box strategy. I teach it for free here on my live streams. I have an educational playlist, and I also have a Potterbox workshop, which is a recording of all of the classes I've ever done on this strategy itself from start to finish. Yeah. I'm also in the works right now of doing another workshop. So those of you guys who bought the workshop, you guys get another one. So pretty cool. Will this be in a Discord? The workshop, yes, the workshop is held inside of a Discord. I'll show you guys really quickly. And again, I don't want you to just rush and go buy this shit. Cool gains, and I like that people are motivated by them. I've been doing this for years, mostly without a lot of people knowing who I am. But I've been able to do this. Consistently for years, but I also teach this stuff like I am right now for free. So do the workshop transfer over if you already have lifetime? Do the workshops transfer over? You get if you buy it once, you get all of the new ones. The only one that you won't get is the one that's pre-recorded. That one is going to be completely separate. So Yeah, Whirlpool looks good, bro. I found mRNA at 25 and next longed it, dude. Oh wait, damn, 25. Are you like in shares? Oh man, you got a great average. Yeah, you got a really good average, bro. That's a great setup too, with empty space up there. Yeah, got a really good average. And then right now, I mean, the opportunities on this setup here, if you can, if this is a reasonable floor, I actually see a beautiful fucking channel here. So this shit's making my fucking toes curl right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. All right. Um, it's a Yeah, but you can pottersockstrading.com. And then also, if you're interested in just buying equity and stuff like that, this is where I'll be posting those. So make sure you guys just subscribe to it. It'll be a good place for you to check that out. But let me really quickly show you guys. This is what the workshop looks like. You'll see a Discord just like this. Um, and then right here, right, starting points, class 1, class 2, and all the way down to class 13. And there's 2025, and then there's also this 2026 class as well. So this guy is the truth. I didn't even realize I got access to his future workshop. That's insane. Yeah, that's what people, yeah, people who are interested in joining, like, if you get the workshop. Now, I will say, when I do a new class, it's a psychological thing. If I tell people I'm doing it for free, if you already got the workshop, not a lot of people, I've done it before, and not a lot of people show up. So I ask people to send whatever you want. It could be $5, could be 5 cents, could be $1, whatever you feel like it's worth. But just, again, almost like as a reservation or something, if you will. But that's it. All right. Where would the midterm TP be? Wait, what? Where would the midterm TP be on mRNA? Right here. It's very simple, right? We have clean consolidation, multiple taps off the bottom, nice close outside of 85.55. We just need to clear a 60.85. At that point, I'll be targeting, focused on 65.88. At that point, we can let this trade go free. We can start looking at letting runners pay the fuck out of us and run up into that empty space. Now, I will tell you this: shorter expirations here, longer expirations, right? I fully expect mRNA to give us the fucking business, right? And at that point, nothing's going to happen in a motherfucking straight line. So it may be, and if channel building, something like this, you'll definitely see mRNA find its way to go sideways. So all the workshops are going to be gone. What? No, no. If I do a new one, you get the new one. But the only workshop I'm going to be doing a pre-recorded workshop without any class present, and that one is not included. But if you've been to the live ones, I feel like those are better anyway. So, all right. Thoughts on MDB Mondongo? I have a price target on this one at 413.56 and 447.75. Those are the two targets that I see on the 24-hour and the weekly. This is something on the monthly, though. I am starting to see this one as like a real, this one could be seen as again, I'm not an equity guy. I don't go and look at the fundamentals, so somebody might be a little bit more well versed, and I can go and do that work myself. But this one does have what looks to be the beginning of a large base and what could be an extended uptrend all the way into like the 688. So if one has the yearly, and you do the pre-recorded workshop, will they have access? No. So the pre-recorded workshop is going to be something that I'm working on my own. There's no class present, and it's going to be it's a lot more work. So no, that one is not included. But if all of the live workshops that I do, you're locked in. You don't have to be there live. You can watch it back. Will this be on YouTube? Yeah, it will be. But there's 135 of you. I hope. I only have 65 subscribers on Substack, so I hope you guys take a second and go subscribe to that. That'll be really good for you guys if you are looking to put some of your profits that you make following me into some safe places or safer places. So you said Hertz is talking about a squeeze. I see empty space on the monthly already. You know what's so funny is it can be just the most minor green candle and it will stop you. And I'm not going to guarantee because what the fuck does that matter? But I'm going to go ahead and say that there is likely going to be a lower time frame box here that got punched through, and there it is, right? So there's your box right there, and you do in fact punch up, right? And the first green candle to your left on this lower time frame gets filled. So as a candidate to squeeze, just like you're a rock climber, right? If you fall, you got to go back to base. You likely have to grab some more supplies and then shoot back up and try to grab hold of that structure in order to keep pushing forward. But it does have a tremendous amount of empty space, which is always preferable. And you could also look over to your left and look at the floor here. And that coincides perfectly. It literally is so fucking perfect. The floor over here to your left is the same same area where you bounced here and made that lower time frame box. So I would say above 256. What's the best way to look at stock price potentials? Empty space. Want me to put the link in the chat? Your subscriptions include live trading. Yes, all of the subscriptions that I have to offer on my website include live trading. Now, I want everybody in here if you've never watched me before, it does not mean that I'm telling you where to buy and sell. If you take the workshop and you start to learn how this works, you're going to be speaking the same language as 800 other people. And all 800 other people we're all working together to build Watchlist and scan the entire market. And we'll, as a group, yes, collectively say this looks good. We're all trading, whatever. But my goal, the only reason that I'm here, the only reason that there's any purpose in what I do is that I create independent traders, people who are able to fully and without a doubt navigate the market on their own. And I've been successful in doing that. And the more successful I am in doing that, the more adamant I am about not giving signals or just telling people outright what the best thing it is to buy. Because at the end of the day, what might be good risk for me at $70 or $80 a contract may be terrible risk for somebody with a small account, but somebody with $100 could legitimately build it to $8,000, $10,000 more, maybe more. And we have people doing that on a relatively consistent basis. So, want me to put the link in the chat? Oh, 72 subscribers. Hell yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. Man, there's got to be a sector out here that's just, and everything is red. Let's look at RSG. I think this is shipping services, right? I've seen this on the side of shipping containers. Does news affect where you draw up a box? Say there was an impulse in either direction from news. How long are you waiting? News is actually what I am able to capture. As crazy as it might sound, I truly, tinfoil hat, believe that if an institutional move is likely to be made, a large move in one direction or another, that price will be very visibly controlled by those same institutions. So you'll see clean boxes. Oh, thank you. But you'll see clean boxes, something like this, probably not so much, right? But you'll see clean boxes before these large moves. And so let me give you an example. If you actually take the workshop, there's an area where I talk about trading SMCI, right? And one of the things that I talked about was how not only did it establish a range, but inside of that whole entire range, you also built another box. And it was absolutely, without a doubt, something that was likely going to be news driven because investors are sitting sideways, very heavily institutionally controlled. And at that point, we traded it down, and then we traded the fucker back up for thousands of percentages. Some people hit 3, 4, 5,000% on SMCI. And it's all due to and then new. So the point here being is these areas of compression with empty space above and below are areas where you can expect news. And I cannot tell you how many times I've already been in position. There's actually a good example of this. I traded calls with my Discord. You can actually go look at this video on my page. There's a video of all of us catching calls. And we caught this not because we knew that news was coming or that we suspected. We didn't have any idea. We just took calls because it had good empty space, a good target, and we swung it overnight. And overnight, it fucking squeezed. And it ripped, and it opened up at like $20. We were up 30, 40,000, 20,000%. And people legitimately had their lives changed. And it's like, these are the type of opportunities that I consistently try to place myself in. Because if you look at KSS, right, and you look at the setup that it has, it builds a box, pushes out, it's got empty space here, it has a separate trigger, and we talked about the secondary price target being, $12. Obviously, just a good setup. We take our trade. But if you look at this, it's like mRNA, might even could be considered an even better setup. But it's like this has that same compression, that same institutional control, and the same type of empty space that struggles to stop a stock that has momentum. There is no structure, shares, orders sitting in front of you. There's just empty space. And so that allows for price to move quickly, which I expect to happen up to 65. And so I take advantage of these areas of empty space with longer or sometimes shorter expiration contracts with target base. So that this keeps my risk really, really low. When I buy these contracts, I can buy, sometimes I'm buying contracts for 30 to 20 to 10 to $5 and then selling these things for over 100 to 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, $1,000. We had somebody buy a $10 contract and sell it for 3,300. So it's pretty incredible. So do you think SMCI has more to run? SMCI has the bug, right? It's got the momentum bug. It's got this habitual movement that it makes now lately, where it's just a series of contraction and expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction, expansion. And so, yes, I do expect that SMCI is a candidate, even just where it's at right now, kind of sitting at that overhead high. This one is a candidate to pop up and hit $40. So yeah, there is some upside potential on that one, especially with you bouncing off of that structure underneath you. So 3 sectors institutions are rotating towards industrials, healthcare, and financials. You are not wrong. That's something TTI posted as well. So this week expiration 65 are pretty low risk. Yeah, they're pretty low risk. Going to really be able to tell you anything very useful on something like this. I can tell you right now that there's an extended effort to hold this underneath previous overhead resistance. So if you're looking long, it's got to be above that. Period, point blank, end of story. But as far as empty space is concerned, channel, I mean, this just looks kind of like it got pumped and dumped very quickly and created a large range for it to build. So that's probably your best case scenario here. If you can't get over that weekly wick. So do I see a pullback on the NASDAQ? I don't see anything like major. No, I don't like to short stocks that are, or even ETFs that are pointing straight up. If you wanted me to say that I was short, you would see this floor here get lost at 707.85. Do you use ATR into your? Do you take ATR into your analysis? No. Everything that I do, I cannot tell you how many times when I was using indicators that I would let the indicator tell me that it was time to get out and watch it just completely rip, and then watch the indicator react to that rip and then say that it was still good to hold. So I just hate the instability that comes and the variables that come with holding and using indicators of any kind. I don't like to be told what to do in real life, but I definitely don't like an indicator telling me, when I see price is enough. And I've proven that. Again, if you scroll my page, if you're never seen me before, there's nobody on the internet who does anything remotely close except for TTI, Put Bros, a handful of other people. But as far as option trading, I mean, you're not going to find anybody else consistently for this long of a period putting up these kind of numbers. And I do it without indicators. I do it without news. I do it without flow. I do it without bots. I do it without scanners. I do it without all of these things that apparently are supposed to make your life easier. I look at them as dangerous variables that can change the direction and even your conviction in a trade. And I don't like that. Do I like flow charts? I do not. I like charts. That's it. It makes sense to me or it doesn't. If we were to walk through this year's plays, right? Like all of the trades that I've taken this year, you're going to see the same thing. I do the same thing. I've been doing the same thing since I mean there's a Mara trade that I always bring up because it's just one of the most beautiful trades that I've ever had the pleasure of taking, and it's the spitting image of exactly my strategy, right? Finding the area of consolidation underneath you, having an area of consolidation above you, having empty space here. And I cannot tell you, I said this the other day, when I took this trade, I cannot tell you how many people at multiple points at this wick right here, and even at this wick right here, and even based on my own channel, right? People were telling me that it was time to, like, dude, just it's done, whatever. And this was their indicators. This was their, ICT bullshit. And I proceeded to hold this exactly as I said I would until it hit structure. Funny enough, I actually woke up and I have a $20,000 jaw. And this was literally paid for my jaw in full. And I was able to take profit on this shortly after I woke up. I don't remember doing it, but and then it proceeded to punch back again, right? Same concept. So my strategy, if you're new here, is I look for these areas of consolidation where price equally and cleanly, very cleanly, is an important note here. Consolidates. It has volume. It's institutionally controlled. That's all I'm looking for. But my strategy, the Potter Box strategy, is literally this. I look for areas of consolidation that have lost their floors, or vice versa, if it's upside down, right? And I'm bearish, I look for areas of consolidation that have popped out and then got pulled back into their ceilings, right? And when it punches through the 50% mark of that box, that guarantees me a new high. And if that new high is not structurally based and it only has a lack of resistance above it, that is where I'm looking to take advantage of these far out of the money, target-based contracts. And it's the same idea and principle that I'm taking into mRNA here. The only difference is this one didn't sink to its lows and shoot up. But it's still an area of consolidation. It still has a clean candle close outside of its these candles at 58.65. And it has empty space directly above it. So I'm looking to repeat that, and I do this every single fucking trade that I take. Is typically always. I mean, that's my. People find strategy and then they will deviate from it, right? And I told people that was what we did with Tesla this week. The mistake that I saw people make was that, Tesla didn't have an area of consolidation. And while there was profits to be made for those who are able to navigate the lower time frames, I mean, we saw that very clearly. from a few people, 373%. But it doesn't have, right? Like down here for a lower time frame trade, this made an excellent punchback, move up, you hit structure right there, and then you pull back. Like that was an amazing setup, a great trade. But past that, for an extended move all the way up, I would love to see this pull back and go sideways. So what expiration makes sense for your setup? Typically this, I mean, that is a loaded question, my friend, because something like Tractor Supply, right, that doesn't really move in a manner that's day tradable or even short swing tradable, you would have to buy something that is, and it's a good setup. We've talked about this one for weeks now. Great base, right? Base rally, whatever you want to call it, touches the first green candle to your left. And if you don't know what that means, that literally means when I look for targets, I know that you will find resistance when you see a 24-hour time frame candle. That is where you're going to stop. That's where you're going to try and grab hold of that floor. And if you can, you will likely see continuation. But something like Tractor Supply isn't going to move the same way that Meta does, isn't going to move the same way that Tesla does. And so something like this would call for, 2-3 months out with $45 contracts versus something like Meta, right, where I'm actually looking at Meta coming into this week for a couple of day trading opportunities because it does have some pretty juicy consolidation, right? It does also have an area of consolidation above, and if we can grab the floor of 595.94 or 598.95 and push through 603.41, we have empty space. And this is something that I would take advantage of with shorter expiration contracts because Meta will move through its empty space quicker, right? And you can actually see amazing examples of this, right? Look, this is my strategy right here. Multiple boxes that signal continuation of the upside, a lack of overhead resistance, and then you would sit and we actually caught this one. This one punched through the box and then proceeds to fill up the empty space to its left. Where does it stop? Right? It stops when it hits that structure or stops before it can grab that floor. And that ends up becoming that next overhead resistance. You have empty space underneath you. You're unable to hold that retest. You build, and then you continue ripping in the same manner through what? Empty space. So I can rely on the fuck just happened here. I can rely on Meta's repetitive and consistent nature to fill up its empty space for day trading and swing trading opportunities. So when Meta decides it wants to create something that looks like this, what usually happens? I can walk you through this like a dog. Look, bam, crunch, pop, bam. You could go over here, same, crunch, pop, right? Crunch, pop, crunch, pop, crunch down, right? Same thing here, same thing there, same thing here, same shit here, just longer and bigger. Right? So you have consistency within this system, but it does take discretion to be able to choose what contract applies to an individual stock. So what are you looking for to get in a 24 cap close above the consolidation? So there's a multitude of different variables. Again, discretion is needed. But a lot of the times getting in for me can mean like this candle right here, right? On a setup that has 1, 2, 1, 2, and going for that third break, this is something that I don't need a candle to close outside of that overhead resistance. I am going to use, so one of the things that I teach people is that, yeah, sometimes your 24-hour time frame setup, you can't wait for the end of the day for it to go, or you're going to miss it. And so one of the things that we utilize with my system is we utilize the lower time frame, knowing that the lower time frame acts as those little tiny gears that move the higher time frame, right? So without these lower time frame boxes being punched through like this, but I can use this, right? So for Meta, I could take it through this box. And I did take this trade. I actually made a redonkulous amount of money. This was a huge trade for a lot of people in the Discord. But we utilized that. Well, a lot of people actually were able to catch this one off the floor. Some people got it after it recovered right here at 6.8. We had, I can actually show you guys. some of the gains because that was what, July 9th? Yeah, that was July 9th. So it was about a basically exactly a month ago. Um, and it's so crazy because I'm scrolling up the gains page right now, and it takes so long for me to actually get back. There's just so many high percentage gains. Okay, so there it is right there. Damn, people whack the shit out of yeah, first 1,000% trade right there. Trying to find it. Everybody's trading fucking IWM at this point. 611. Can't find it. Type shit. How far out do I buy contracts? That's what I was just explaining. Once it punches through the mid box, where's the entry? You can use the top. It's all about stop losses. So if price holds 602, then you would want that to be your stop loss because that's where price will bounce. You just want to situate yourself on entry around something structural. What do you? I'm short Zcash, gang, GGs. Okay. What time frame did I take meta on? I believe this one was taken on the 15, 30-minute time frames. You can see very well the structure and floors that get recovered here. And then in regards to the higher time frame, where the fuck this is at? Why everybody's just trading IWM? Oh, probably because I'm in the wrong month. There it is. I just found it. Yo, so like look at this, guys. This is a result of that play. These are some of the percentages that you'll see consistently around here. Look at that. 2,435%, 1,216%. Here's another one right here. I can't because the image is too big. Okay, I guess I'll just click another one. Dude, what the fuck? Look at this right here. Just absolutely fucking bananas. All right, it's not going to work doing that. Here, you guys just look at it this way. I keep copying and pasting it. 3,211%. 1,400%. 1,200%. A lot. Ridiculous. 1,600%. Look at that. Does strategy work with iBit if it has the setup? But I mean, period, end of story. My strategy works on any markets. It's just whether or not the setup is clear. But anyway, all right. 3,000% is heinous. If you look at my page, you will actually see. I mean, again, not to. I do this all the time, right? So this is 710. This is a month ago, right? I'm gonna close my eyes. All right, I'm not no looking. I'm gonna turn around, and we're just gonna scroll. All right. So if I was full of shit, right, or if this was just like some temporary thing, or we're just striking when the hammer's hot, then I wouldn't be able to do this, right? But if I just stop the thing, look, 427%. See, 123%. Oh, 60%, or wow, 221%, 1,000%, 254%. Look at that right there. 1,200, 1,300%, $16 to $223. 600%, 400%, 300%, 520%, 537%, 444%. So I've been consistently teaching people my strategy and how to create these sort of opportunities. And the biggest fuck up that people do is typically they just trade too much. This is something that you want to take advantage of and then walk away when you don't see your setup anymore. And people will attach themselves to certain setups or stocks and then get burned by continuously trading something that's not moving anymore. Anyone using AI charging beauty to make up images of them with massive what? Anyone can use AI charging beauty to make up images of them with massive. Wait, are you telling me that I'm using AI? Oh my god. You're not wrong, right? I guess theoretically they could. But that would, I mean, dude, look, do you think that I could convince 800 people to all fake their gains? You know what I mean? Like fake these kinds of high percentage gains. Like that feels like trying to get like every worker at NASA to keep people from knowing that the earth is flat because it's not. Trump convinced millions of people to vote for him without anyone doing anything. Yeah, well, I mean, the education system has been degraded down a lot, and these people don't get anything. Why would they pay me to have them fake percentages? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? I hear you, and I'm all for checking people, but that doesn't make any sense. Also, you know, I would. There's other people on this app who post their gains from using my strategy, and this guy's not faking all of his gains, and he's got some fucking fire ones. Anyway, what is the best strategy you recommend for 2 and 3D options? Mine. Yeah. Member here for 2 years, and we are so accustomed to nice wins that 100% gains or less are not worthy. Yeah, but not all of those posts are real, by the way. I mean, I'm gonna let you believe that, but I'm glad you're skeptical, but it's legit. I've used it and done it. Yeah, be skeptical, but um, if you actually watch I'm going to post this video on TikToks. Have you used it on futures? Yeah, I couldn't do the prop funds because I literally I kept going over the profit targets every single day, and it was like impossible to try to lose money. I'm trying to add shit to my. Oh my god, why is that so compressed, dude? Look at that thing. Holy shit! It's too bad it doesn't have any empty space. Left gaps up there to the upside. So if this thing can find a floor, man, that thing's about to move. That's about to move, baby. Especially over 92.86. I don't know what the fuck that is, but that's in a sector that money is moving into right now. It's funny how they don't know the difference between you and scammers. I mean, I don't blame people. That's why I don't get mad at people trolling me and stuff like that. Like I actually engage with it. It's kind of fun. But I want people to treat people with my occupation badly. I don't. I they what have I done to gain anybody's respect other than the people who've already watched me? You know what I mean? So to have that sort of mentality is good. I want them to jump in and fuck people up, and call them out. But you know, also if evidence supports, what they're selling, then maybe don't. I need to fix my mentality. Grew my $200 account to 1,100 and then blew it on Friday. So you grew $200 to $1,100 and you didn't pull that money out. What do I say when I say empty space? So when a stock falls or rips like this, it creates empty space, right? You see how it falls just as fast as it went up? That's your empty space, right? Like so, this would have been a great purchase actually, by the way. 4 taps at the bottom, break out over that 79.40, but you have empty space in between you, right? This allows there's a lack of friction that happens if it doesn't have a catalyst. The idea of paying $1,000 to join your Discord and then using AI to fake gains to make you feel better. Yeah, that would be pretty wild. Quick question. Yeah, okay, we got that one. Screen is cut in half. Oh, my bad. So should we use code Potter for what? I think there's a. I don't think Ivy's taken. The last code that I know of is goaded, and I don't know what that gives you. I mean, I could see. I don't do that. Ivy takes care of. I have assistants that take care of all of this shit. I'm just gonna see if no, that one doesn't have one. But the PBS workshop with 6 months does have 2 extra months included with it right now. I'm drinking right now, just chilling. It's pouring here. Ivy said, "Want me to take back the discount, Papa?" Ivy said, "Should I put the discount back up?" She's got to be watching me right now. Code Potter on prop firms? Nah. I would. Nah. If I give you a signal, will you play Wonderwall? Nah. Fuck. I definitely should have cashed out. I'm definitely like the syphilis of trading. This keeps happening. Alex, break the cycle, bro. Listen to me, my friend. I'm telling you right now, the next time you hit $1,000, pull it out, start with 200. You need to be under that pressure of not having that money. Because clearly, when you do, you start to make fucking silly decisions. So, thank you guys, by the way, for tapping your screen so much. I might go live on my other account with this one. I haven't been live on my other TikTok account in months. What? Ooh, I'm gonna send myself all the money that I have on my other TikTok. Look at I sent myself a galaxy. That's the most embarrassing thing I've ever done. I actually didn't mean to do that. I was trying to click on a different button. It's okay. So, oh, I can't join my own live. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow night. All right. Why did you go live today? Kids are busy, or not busy, but kids were preoccupied. Um, I needed the main reason that I'm here right now is because I need to find things to add to my watch list because this week wasn't the cream of the crop, right? And if I, how I mean, when's the last time you guys saw me have a week like this? Where we had two. It's been a minute. So my reaction to that is to immediately try to circumvent the lack of setup. If I don't have a setup, I'm going to go find it. I thought you were live today to show the gains page, the AI gains page. Yeah, there you go. AVGO is, I mean, one of those setups right now where there is nothing but net up to like 475. There's a lot of empty space up there, but I think what's happening at the moment, and it still looks, everything looks fine. But here's the way I'm chalking this trade up, right? Your old box is the only thing that you have right now. And so each part of this, like right now, I'd say 440, 439, 14 is your next target. So all right. Okay. Yeah. What are you guys watching? Let's take some of your guys' requests. I've had this one shorted. I feel like forever. Now, when it comes to setups like this, folks, I don't sit here and try and pretend like I know what's going on to like the fullest degree. I do can very clearly. What I'm saying is, I don't see empty space, and when I don't see my strategy present, I don't trade it. So I also don't have an edge on it, which is why I gravitate away from things like this. If you know this one has a catalyst or something of that nature, then disregard. I want you guys to try to trade the things that you think look good, and then by trial, decide not to. But that being said, I see two major structures directly up above us. But one of those are, again, this is going to be a step-by-step process. Step one is 53.34 from where you're at now, while also maintaining the 44.93 level. So from here to here to here. And then at that point, you really do need a catalyst on something like that. So what flavor was that? Trop cookies. You still got the deal for 2 weeks? If I would go check the free chat, dude, I don't know if Ivy closed it. She probably closed it. So it looks like it's still up. Yeah, I don't know. All right, what else are we looking at here? Hood to the upside. Just pack up my bags. So I talked about this one this last weekend, or this last week. You can very clearly see that 95.50 is the first and most heaviest overhead resistance. At that point, you would have a 99.32 target. And the way that I look at this is, if you're going to trade it, you're trading it for this empty space up to 113.25. There is a weekly candle that has finally escaped its overhead resistance, or just up against it. So establishing this and this at 95 and above 94.67. Excuse me, 94.50 and 98.50. But yeah, is 1 week to short mRNA? No, I'm not short on it at the moment. Unless it pops up and rejects, gets sucked back in, then no. AAOI. On the weekly, this one has accomplished quite a bit. This is a box. You touch the floor, and now it's up to your lower time frame mechanics, right, to actually work out the rest of the details, where you're going to change that box and move it here. You're going to move over here to your left and establish this as a range that you're struggling to get through. So if you can get and hold, which you did a good job on the 24-hour this Friday of getting a little bit of control of that floor, but it is going to be over 144 candle close, and then you can see progression there. Not for me, but bull upside target, actually hold a little bit of bull equity, but I do believe that there's starting to it's starting to develop the strong possibility of a downside move first, where I would love to see this one obviously channel wise, but also just structure wise. Would love to see this one tap around 615, and then at that point, traveling within this channel, if you could kind of build in here. You could really set this one up, and I do think that bull has a pretty interesting weekly setup. It's not my favorite, but it is a decent little setup there. So let's see here. It looks like this one has a tough time getting it done, but it does. I mean, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. You know, this one. With that raw. Uh, I mean, outside of 3487, you know, again, I don't expect this to be a one-way trip, but I would say the first target's 93 and 43. So, I mean, it is an interesting little pocket of consolidation. That's really all I have to add to that one. So, but there is empty space up there. I assume one day we'll be right back up. AMD. 24-hour area. This is likely one that you're going to see a decent move out of. Right now, I have a bullish trigger directly outside of that overhead resistance on a 4-hour candle close, where this thing has a pretty decent price target of 520 right here through that pocket of empty space as well. And then contrary to that analysis, right, we also being stuck underneath here with multiple rejections. If we do sink the floor at 463.30, I expect a price target on AMD of 41.40 to get hit. So, you know, one way to prepare for this is to make sure we don't like to short the floor. So we like to short it as it's moving to the floor. And then when that floor does end up breaking, you know, again, you have that target to the downside at 440. And then at that point, you know, 440 could make for a reasonable area to bounce and complete that channel. So Walmart. I have this one on a watch list. It's a just again alert set on this one. It's got a great pocket of empty space up there. It's got a good channel that is also trading in as well. It had a good bounce as well off of 110.75. So I mean, if you're watching this one closely, it's just going to be, you know, again a punch back through this 4-hour box right here that kind of gets this started in motion. So you said remember my name. That's fucking hilarious. Uh, I think Meta still has a pretty good chance to try for it. Yeah. What do I think about T? Said you're not bad. Big, nice pullback, nice retest, and I really do love when candles, especially in bullish setups like this, pull up and hold levels like that. So, yeah, this one looks pretty good. Up above you is really clear, and you do have a pretty nice price profit target on this one. So, I think the goal would be to either build in here and then go for that break and move up into the 2760s. So, or just get above 25 would be a great start. So. Let's see. Do I think Meta will continue to pop end of day? Tesla looks good to the upside. I don't like the lack of consolidation. I'm leaving that one off of my watch list right now. AA looks good. We covered that one. Gold looks good. We covered that one. MOS. Oh, dates high. Looks like a really nice channel is in play. I mean, you have a really nice higher time frame channel right here. It looks like it also has a pretty good base that it's creating right now. That's the weekly right there. So I think right now the journey starts above $24. I mean, legitimately, it looks like a really good place to, especially if you're looking at shares. This might be a good place to look in to taking this one long. I don't really see a ton of empty space opportunities except for that big wick up right here. It leaves behind some lower time frame empty space. So I'd say $30 might be a really good. Swing trading seemed interesting, but not day. A statement, a question. Man, I got to tell you, Rusty Rod has more monitors than Best Buy. Dude, Rusty Rod is trying to I mean, when you can't trade, you just try to, when football players, I don't know if anybody in here has ever played football or if ladies, maybe you guys played football or watched it. But like in high school, there was always like these dudes who would like put on like really like gloves and half sleeves and little fucking sweatbands, and they'd never leave the bench. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what Rusty Rod is to me. Somebody who doesn't actually do this, but just tries to make it look that way. Because that's what, I mean, if I had my camera pointed at my motherfucking setup, dude, I mean, my PC alone, was fucking $8,500. But that's not, how does that help you? Why do I need to trick you into fucking following or watching me? I know my face might not be enough, but I'd rather you see the fucking results of what I actually do than just be like, oh, he's got a cool setup. You gotta look at his setup. Bro's got fucking 10 different brands of monitors. That's a Facebook Marketplace special. Yeah, he's getting more monitors because he's a dork. But, to each their own. Except for him. Well, if you are trading upstart, right, you are trading inside of a very large area of consolidation or trying to work your way through it. But I'm going to be honest with you, this one definitely needs to show a little bit more strength and get outside of that 34.85, and then you could look at a target of 44.50 pretty comfortably. So that's on the weekly, by the way. So, translating that to the 24-hour time frame, you can see right now, hold that 28, and obviously outside of 35, that's where you're looking for that trip. I mean, there's a lot more, actually, now that I'm looking at it on the 24-hour time frame. It looks like there might even be a channel. Yeah, there is a real, wow. So, I mean, that one is actually a candidate. Probably set an alert on that one as well. So, yeah, not bad. How do you differentiate between range and consolidation? I'll show you right now. I'll show you on this stock. All right, you ready? So I'm going to go ahead and mark out this whole box, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we're heading up, right? And that's on the 24-hour. To my left here, I have price moving up, right? Popping up, filling that empty space, but it ultimately gets pulled down to 39. This becomes the 50% mark, but is not a box. It is a range. It's a range. There's no structure. It's just a pop up and pop down. It's mostly empty space, right? This right here is a box. Again, pay attention to the little details. You've got 2 here, 2 here. It's not beautiful, but it's there. This is something that would likely be qualified as not a box, but a range. There's only one off the top. And if anything, right, it seems like there's more of a compression held at 70. So range and consolidation, right, or the Potter box is like this right here. This would be range. This right here would be range. This right here would be a box, right? This would be a range. This right here, probably pretty close to a box, but that's a range. This was a box, right, that you punch down through. This was a box right here. So it's just lack of structure that Can you talk a little bit more about channels? I'm not great at those. Um, I mean, channels are again not my they're not everything to me. They're not as important as people may perceive them to be. But what I'm looking for is the same thing I'm looking for in boxes, which is points of contact that establishes, like when I see something like this, right, and this, and there's two off the top, two off the bottom, that's incredibly intriguing, and especially when you see like little taps within that channel. So it's all about points of contact. So if no one else says thank you, I will. As a fellow teacher, you are needed. Thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot. Do you plan on posting this on YouTube? Yes, I do. I mean, that I want to say yes on this one, and hope that like a short squeeze of ultimate proportions could happen on this one, and I think that a jolt like this one um, definitely keeps this one in buyer's hands, right? So if you were to kind of cut that out a little bit, I know there's a little channel here. So this is kind of how I would actually do this. Oh, wow. Actually, that's incredibly intriguing. That right there is your overhead resistance. I would assume that your overhead resistance on the weekly is likely going to translate to a 24-hour box. It was, but has already been punched through, so it's no longer relevant. Yeah, you know what? This one does have a lot of signs, even on the lower time frame, potentially pointing up and out. And the empty space on DKNG is extremely intriguing. So I'm actually going to set an alert on that one for that reason. Top of the box, I'm looking for red candles closing. Well, listen, man. I mean, we can't always decide how price or what price closes, but like you're just looking for where price doesn't go up, right? Where it taps the same level or closes at the same level. Like if you look at this, right? Like yes, red candles mark that as well. But it's more the points of contact that are the most important. So not always are you'll see green candles and red candles closed up against an area like this, and that's okay. It's more or less like, can you find or establish that box? And this was an incredibly weak breakout. Topic, but really quick, is Heavenly Father Isaiah's best? Uh, one of them. Yeah, I think it's. Yeah. I related that song a lot when I was younger. Um, what do you mean the box is no longer relevant? Because the higher time frame area of consolidation when I dropped down didn't turn into, it was a box that had already been punched through multiple times or pushed through. Price had already moved through it. So Alejandro, focus on the most recent boxes, the most recent price action. So like right now, right, for DK and G, you could probably navigate this pretty well just by using what you already have, right? Like overhead resistances like this, like getting up and above that, like you would have better luck just focusing on the most recent price action. I don't know what this is, but I mean, it does have a great amount. It has a Yeah, wow, that's pretty entertaining. So I mean, yeah, you're tapping your floor. This would be something to set an alert on over 114, or you could go zoom in. I'm sure. Lost it. You would soon follow in the dooms that I'm doomed to die young, addicted to dry plump shit. Yeah, I think right now, it actually looks really good. You know, if you look at it from a higher time frame box, I mean, it meets it, it lines up really well. So yeah, it does look good. It's like 140, 150 would be the first target. All Herb by Rashad. Oh yeah, that's a good one too, bro. Uh, I think I know what you're talking about. Almost positive I've heard that song. Celsius is just a couple clicks away. It needs to be over $30 to get a nice squeeze up and out. Is that a linear regression indicator? No, it's a parallel channel. I don't use any sort of indicators. I don't need indicators to produce these 1,000% trades. So I don't use any indicators. Just channels. Just parallel channel. Like that. That's all I need. Expandable. You're still live, damn. You about to be live tomorrow? I haven't been live that long. Hour and four. Oh yeah, it's been a little pretty decent amount of time. All right. PL up. Planet Labs. Utah asked me about this one. Yeah, I say a 2550 target on that one first. It does have, I mean, it does have a remarkable amount of empty space to the upside, but I think I don't have the rest of the details on that. Channel looks good, but just a lack of real box structure can make this difficult. But yeah, floor is going to be first. So 25, 26, 25, 42. Am I looking to buy equity on AO? Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. No, I didn't do that one. I just want to remind everybody, if you haven't done it already, make sure to go subscribe. I will be posting signals, but I will be posting equity purchases, watch list updates, anything that has to do with long-term buys based on my system. This is where you'll find me. So. Yeah, I have a Substack. Just Potter stocks on Substack right here. Yours. I just posted the link right there, but just Google me. You'll find me. There is a paid one, and then it's $50 a month for two, and I update the every 2 weeks. I'll update you guys on stop loss, entry, exits, all that other stuff, breakdowns. Let me see your charts. I mean, I see a target of 7850 pretty clearly. But I mean, this is a very illiquid piece of poopy, so 7450. How do I handle overlapping boxes when multiple consolidation ranges on a single chart? I look at that as blessings, because if you punch through one, you could trigger the other. That's the beautiful thing about having boxes that are intertwined, is one trigger typically triggers the other, so you'll have like a multi breakout. Okay, Steven, why are we boxing shit up like this? All right, I'm gonna roast you a little bit. Why are we boxing up things like that? Right? There is no box there. There is nothing actually. What was that? BMY. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, dude, this is one of those stocks that It reminds me of NVO. You know what I mean? Like the way that it moves, you can see it looks like shit. You know, it moves like shit. And then this right here, dude, is a glorified fucking range, if anything. So you would want it at the top right there. I think you have, yeah, you're cutting out a bunch of price. Yeah, points of contact are at 60 through 22. That would be your best bet. But what are you getting out of this? Nothing. Now for your Dell chart, you're cutting out half of the box, right? That's all one range. And while it may not be clear there, again, remember, we're always searching for clarity. And so if you look at Dell, like right now, I'm sure, yeah, you could, you know, I think it's best on the weekly. Why? What? See, this is where I want you guys to focus on always looking for what's easiest, right? What is easiest to identify? That is, right? And that translating to the 24-hour just has you dead slap center at 515 as like a cost basis. And then at this point, right, not everything is going to be navigated in the same way, but you're looking at that same overhead resistance at 465.70 to be cleared. That's simple. So. What are your volume requirements? Like, is there a daily average? No, I don't have volume requirements. Okay, same thing with this chart, man. You're boxing up things that don't deserve boxes. BSBT. What the fuck is this? Oh, that's an E. It looked like a B. Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, your chart is you're you're trying to box this up, right? And again, we're always searching for clarity. Is this clear? No, it's not clear. So the best you could do on this 24-hour time frame is that, right? But translate that down. The 4-hour is probably going to be your best bet. But dude, why are you even wasting your I'm again, don't waste your time charting shit like this. You know what I mean? Again, if you're trying to do what I do, capture the same type of percentage trades that I do, then you're not looking at things that are illiquid as shit. This moves like a basset hound. So I would recommend looking at something, you know, even your UPS would be better. So yeah, dude, we gotta lock in. All right, this UPS chart right here showing me that we still have to kind of capture. So let's find the right chart on UPS. All right, and maybe let's see. Yeah, so you have yours on the 24-hour time frame, and what you've done is you've essentially tried to box that up, right? That is not a punchback, right? Not on the 24-hour time frame. Sometimes there's nothing that can be done, but you would just do this. It's a range that price is trading in, but it doesn't do anything for you. So what are you looking for? Clarity. Move down. All right, now what do we got? We've got a floor. Okay, that's clear, right? And then it looks like, right, we could probably, since it hasn't really been messed with too much, this is a range. The top of that range is here. That would also be the 50% mark of this candle, which would be your imbalance. That's 106. So the first and most necessary goal would be get it there, right? But I'm going to go to the 2-hour because I feel like there's going to be something clearer, and I would be correct, right? So it looks like we have a little box right there. We've got empty space up to 109 and that green candle. So it's a step-by-step process, right? But you have a good wick there. It is the third time at the top. But you would need to be above 106, right, which is your next target, 107.27, and moving up in and out, right? So there is no box here. There is no the only Potter box there is no Potter box. And that's okay, right? Sometimes there isn't one. Sometimes that just means we don't trade it. So. What do I think about SMCI? It looks good. It looks good. The $32 overhead resistance it just needs good volume. That's it. So I have an alert set. I think no, I don't actually. I need to. Yeah, so 3237. And then, looking at this from a 24-hour perspective at that point, you'd be looking at the same overhead resistance over here at 3630 and then try to clear that over to 40. So, yeah, you're right. It does have earnings. It does have earnings. Now, part of me wants to believe that regardless of the fucking or the CEO bullshit, that there's something bigger here. I definitely would have both sides. You filled up all that empty space, came down, you've left some behind, so $40. I would say a $40 and $17, which is pretty wide, but if you're looking to capture volatility, and I like to separate those two targets. Yeah. Meta upside target. I'm hoping to get this one. I'm hoping to get this one up to 632 through this heavy overhead resistance. So APP. Good bounce. Again, whenever you bounce, the goal is to always recover something. That something would be 367.66. That's going to be your first call sign for any sort of a potential upside. It also looks like there's something here. I don't like that. I'm not going to do that. It's not as clear as I'd like it to be. It does look like there's a Potter box down here to your left, and you didn't quite touch that, so you're in between the two. And a lot of the times that means, and then you can kind of go. So some drinking and a straw. Look. That doesn't look that bad. You know what? I might take that one on Monday as a really, really low risk. That's cheap as fuck, dude. Super cheap. And what is my target is, let's go back to the target. So the target would be 13. The usual run time for a rip like this is, a week top. So 2 weeks out would probably be the safest bet. So that's 6 days, 13 days. That's still cheap as fuck. $13 strikes. $13 strikes are fucking $10. That's not bad. Yeah, I'll write that one down. It does have earnings. You are correct that it does have earnings soon. So that might be the actual catalyst that gets that one up and out. So that's a fucking interesting chart there. $69 new trades, the 70 increases, 20 held. So pretty high. Quarterly net insider trading. Oof, they're unloading that fucker. Jim Cramer does not recommend this. Vanguard total stock market ETF holds 171 million. IWM holds 108 million. Vanguard Extended Market ETF is 67 million. iShares Russell 2000 Growth ETF, that's 39 million. So that's interesting. Wouldn't earnings kill the cons? Not with not with that low of a price. No, it would inflate. If it inflated the contracts that we are already holding, then there's a chance that could happen. Yeah. Do you see Meta end of the day rip on Monday like they do? Possibly. Yeah. I'll be watching Meta. Meta's on the watch list, guys. So no frets on that one. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right at light right there, boy. Some glossy ass paper. There you go. I don't like Google. I told people that last week, and I don't. I'm not going to trade. I mean, it has volatility. I think that there's a high probability in 343 getting hit, but it is sitting right at a box that it actually punched through, which you can see that it actually bounced off of. So that will be something that you could set an alert on as a trigger to the upside. But like I said, I think you have a first right here at 350, 250, and then down here at 347.22, and possibly that 343. So, but QQQ, what are you looking at, Kendra? To me, right now, this is a read and react scenario where very clearly over 726.30 to be exact, or 725 for wherever candle close. I would be expecting a first price target of 731.35 to get hit right here, and then a secondary target at 736.35 to get hit. Probably a 5 to 700% trade somewhere in there at that overhead break. However, this is an area where price likes to fluctuate, and could be expecting something similar to that. So this week could be a little bit rough when it comes to continuation. Soundhound. That one has empty space. I think I looked at this one last week. It didn't quite make the watch list, but there's no denying that it has a good candle close directly up against the floor over here to your left. So accomplishing that would allow that 4-hour empty space to likely get filled, and that would give you a target here at 880. So I just got a really good idea. I think, huh? Yo, big mama, what it do? What's up, Jesus? What's up, dude? Shopify? Fuck shop. Police. That move to me is, if you're looking for more, you're looking for a punchback, and that starts with a recovery of 157. You are this is actually a really good setup. You had a punchback. It waited for earnings to finish the move, but it filled up the empty space all the way, even to cost basis, which is the 50% mark of every area of consolidation or box. Hit that 50% mark and is now working its way back up. So you need to get I think of it like a rock climber, right? You need to get price to settle on those levels that held up price before. You got a couple of floors underneath you that will serve you well, like 140.50, and including this 149.47, which is likely a lower time frame retest. What was my idea? Just now, my idea was to cut up all of the breakdowns that I do, like SoFi, Shop, you know what I mean? And just post the shorts of those breakdowns from the YouTube video um, on YouTube and maybe TikTok and Instagram. So it's like I'm not necessarily taking the trade, I'm just posting it as content. I don't know. I've had marketers chasing me down telling me that they could like blow my shit up. Pause. Um, because I tell you what, man, I'm not always super motivated to do that shit, but it's a good idea. You know, hold on a second. That looks like, I mean, either a great play down. This is just probably surprisingly because Fuel Cell is a piece of shit, but it's really cheap. So the small accounts maybe pay attention. What's down? What's up? Oh, so you got a little bit of empty space up there. You got a range right over here to your left with empty space up to 28.11. You still carry a small uptrend right here. That one looks really, really clean. So it could be a candidate to try and go pop, fill that empty space at 29.50. No guarantee that anything else gets filled up, but that would also be a retest of the equal high. So this one actually for small accounts, I think this one might be a little bitchin' exploratory trade with a decent little 2-hour trigger right here. But I would probably take that trade above 21.17 if you're not. If you're not motivated, let me do it, and I'll be like your live clipper and post them right after. Are you in my Discord? Because I would be willing to work out something for your, for you to. Obviously, I want to see what you're able to do. We have Ivy and Alex. They like clip them and then post them in the Discord. But yeah, if you would, you know, if I've been looking for somebody to more importantly, like I give out so much analysis, and so much of this analysis that I give out like works for people. People will come back and be like, dude, thank you so much, like I just hit 1,000% off of your analysis, and I don't even remember what the fuck I talked about. But to be able to have me talking about the analysis and then immediately breaking to that move happening, you know, or somebody being like, hey, you know, thanks, and I comment on it, like that's my preferred content, because then people get to see what I do, you know, in full. So, but I'm accepting applications, you know, in the form of, um, you know, like just do it and show me what you got, because at this point, you know, I've tried a couple of people, and I want to see what they got. So if you got something cool, um, you know, I'd be willing to work something out for you, or you know, even possible employment down the road or something like that. So I need clippers, dude. If I yeah, I mean that'd be amazing. Simple Stacks itself is not in a position right now to like hire more people. I don't make a lot of money off the Discord. Most of that money goes to paying Ivy and Alex and paying subscriptions and paying for all the little things that the Discord needs to stay operational, you know, including, you know, TikTok stuff. Um, but you know, if the clipping is successful, you know, then the end result would be I would be able to likely do that. So I could pay. I mean, I'll likely pay out of pocket, you know, with my own money. But I try to keep my money and Simple Stacks money separate. So Microsoft. Do you really, Burb? Okay, yeah, man. Talk to me, dude. I'd love to see what you have. Yeah, anybody's welcome to shoot their shot and show me what you got. All right, you got a box right here. So first off, the first thing that you got a 24-hour. You got a 24-hour box range right here at 503, and outside of 509, I could, you know, this one could attempt. It's not clear to me. Yeah, I'm just going to be honest with you. There's not a lot of empty space in this range that hasn't been filled already. So I think looking at this one, even though this downtrend is exaggerated in some ways, I would look at possibly hitting that same 543 if you could break over that 509. But I'm not super confident in that analysis. And if you look at the lower time frame, it's probably easier to navigate here. Like punch down under 493.75, you likely drop to 491.80. So Reddit weekly. I had somebody bring up Reddit to me yesterday because of that empty space up to 167 and up to 175, which I can appreciate, and it doesn't look bad at all. I think the goal here is very clear, and you can see it in the stock itself, right, where you actually have the candle close to your left right there, and price is battling to maintain that high. And it even looks like that the previous cost basis has become your retest level. So anything underneath 159, right, would be a candidate to actually fall. But contrary to that, right, I think, I mean, it's easy to say over 163.93, but it's likely even just the wick right here at 162.80 that I would, yeah. And as you move down, you'll start to see, look, do you guys see this? This is the kind of shit that you can't make up, right? If with my system, like that right there is perfect. That right there for any clippers later on. This right here is the little gear, right? The little gear that moves the big gears. If we get that green line, you get a candle close, right? Or likely candle close above 162.80, which would be enough to take that trade. So it's not bad. Not bad, a little setup. I'll definitely make sure my alerts are set on that one. All right, Burb, thank you. Am I still on YouTube? Yeah. I'm not on there right now. Is there anything specific you want me to clip, or just like each segment of a stock? I mean, dude, you know, one thing that I do when I hire people is I know people contain great deals of creativity outside of my idea of what things should look like, or you know, so like my idea is, yeah, just clip the analysis beforehand, and then you know, and that itself I'm going to post, you know, so people can, you know, whether it works or it doesn't, it's still there for people to see. um but you know, I think the goal would be to, you know, create something where, yeah, you see the before and after, maybe even some of the gains with that, you know, later on down the road. But I also like, you know, somebody like you, if you like my content, you know, clip what you like, clip what you think would be clippable, you know, because that's ultimately, you're the viewer. I'm the creator. And it's not always clear to me what people like and what they don't like coming from me, you know. So I'm still exploring different methods, you know. How much capital do I need to start options? I'm going to show you something that's a little on the extreme end, but shows you an example of what people inside of my Discord have been capable of with very, very, very little capital. So just to answer your question outright, the what the fuck is the gains page? $100. You know, the most important thing about the money that you put into the market is that you have a actual understanding of a strategy. If you don't, then that $100 is good as gone. Where did it go? There it is. You know, right here, this is a $10 play, and this $10 ends up going to $3,330. So you do not need a lot of capital. You need patience. You need to take the time that it to honestly build and understand a strategy, and then even the time to kind of explore that strategy. You know, that's the kind of stuff that I'm encouraging people to do before they actually employ their cash. Because I've seen people take $100 accounts to 10,000 to 8,000 to 5,000. You know, I've even had people take it to like 60,000. And so it's an important thing for for people to know that it's with, especially with my system. I can't speak on anybody else out there, but with my system, you do not need a lot of capital. So Reddit will be on the YouTube video. Thank you guys for tapping your screen so much. I appreciate you. You said MU. Yeah, that one has a. I mean, to me, part of me sees a stupendous upside move because of its ability to hold on to that floor after a great recovery down below inside of this range, right? So there is empty space on the 24-hour up to 978.20, which would be a short-term target coming out of the candle closes or above that 905.11 on the 24-hour to be exact. And then I can acknowledge and see that above 1010, you have a potential target of 1130. So there is great potential here to get this one back up and into the green. There's a pretty sweet channel here as well. So I think right now it's pretty important to have your alert set. I tell you what, if that happened towards the end of the week, that'd be a band. Made a band on the SPX yesterday in about 30 minutes. Hell yeah. I love to see, man. It's every. I was just talking to somebody last night, one of the new members, but they were just telling me how the group is so impressive, and all of the growth that she can see, and people doing really well, after a certain period of time. And I was just saying, and it's because I always think back to when I started this whole Potterbox workshop thing. And, I literally had one of my opening lines was, I want my Discord not to be like where one person is just trying to tell everybody else what they're doing and how to do it, but where everybody is equally, contributing in some manner because they understand the strategy, to its fullest degree, and they're employing it in a way where, they're making real money and people can see that. And I've done that now, like I've legitimately made a Discord filled with people after 5+ years that know my strategy by heart. They use it, in a way that works with them. And they are making consistent good money. And it's all of those people and the new people and the people learning and the people who are almost there. Everybody is contributing their ideas, refining them. And it's pretty fucking cool, man. To and not only that, it's like I could leave for the rest of the year. I legitimately believe that I would. The only thing is nobody talks as much, but the discussions that are had and the plays and the study groups, I'm sure something terrible would happen if I did. But the when I take vacations, I see performance, and it's really cool to see. So yeah, I did already enter mRNA. I didn't know you can get into option trade with such low capital. Yes, but host trades, I can't emphasize enough how important. And I will say, I don't know anybody else's strategy who is capable of doing what I do. I'll just be honest with you. Well, TTI, put bros and stuff like that, but like like this is actually a lot of people in here do what I did in the beginning, which is like they'll take this. It's so funny. He always makes these cool edits, but like he had a really small account, and he flipped that shit, and there's 5,369% on that account. So it's phenomenal. And then not only that, right? I can show you another example here. Every single time it tells me that the image is too fucking big. You're too fucking big. Look at this. So for $4, right? 4 times 10 is 40. $40 to $1,600. Is the newsletter going to be available to me with a yearly subscription to the Discord and the workshop? It is separate. Yeah, it is separate. But it's a whole separate, it is kind of like stock signals in a way where I add and build watch list and all that other stuff. So, but yeah, you don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of money to do this. You just need patience. The biggest mistake that everybody makes is they'll take $200, $100, $1,000, and they'll quadruple. I've seen it. I see it weekly actually. They'll make a huge amount of money, um, and then instead of understanding that literally the market moves in waves, right? It peaks and then it falls and then it peaks and then it falls. And you have to ride that wave, make your money in the top, and then you want to avoid the trough, right? And that trough doesn't mean literal up and down like on the chart. It means that the volatility, right? It's the waves in which everything moves, including on the weekly, monthly time frame. But you'll see these pockets, right? Like, look at this. This is no trading, but the days following, trade your heart away. And then after that expansion, so this is that look, that up and down that I'm talking about. This is when you're down, right? So this is a trough right here where you're basically without you're consolidating and crunching price down for that inevitable move, and that's where you trade. So like you'll make a lot of money here, but then people will show up expecting to do the same thing on the same stock, and in these areas where price is moving sideways, they'll get their ass clapped. And then they'll keep risking because again they see how the system works, but they're doing this all on very lower time frames instead of so we're going to lose. I lose sometimes, but I also know people in the group and outside of my group that have like 45% win rates, and they're still making more money than people who are out here on TikTok claiming to have 90% win rates because the risk to reward is just outstanding. So check live trading. Steven, what the fuck? Bro. Steven. What are you doing, dude? That's not real. You made that. Why would I be wearing the exact same outfit? Disney was so fun. You're fucking diabolical. So I can be creative with the clips. Yeah, be creative. Do what you would do. Do what you think people would think is funny, or creative or attractive or whatever. How do I feel about eval funded accounts? I don't really like it very much. Logic. I think it's all a trap from the way the P&L is displayed, from the, the all of the little sale. Dude, okay. What's it kind of a slap in the face when they do like 60 and 70% accounts. Do you know what that is? That is such a high confidence in every 90%, 95, maybe even more of your customer base losing. So you lowering the prices of these funders account with the possibility that people could all make money are so confident that they won't, that you are willing to drop these ridiculous discount codes because everything that, and I'm not saying some people are able to pull money out of them, but it does take a so I mean, try them out, try it out once, but don't get trapped in there. So all right, Burb. Yeah, man, it'll be let me know if you need anything. So not bragging, but 16 out of 20 last trades are green. Thankful for that and thankful for you. Please show a bit more love to the YouTube community. I will, Burb. I'll make an effort to do that. I'm actually working. I'm about to start using this app that combines all of the chats together. So I just want to remind everybody I will not message you on TikTok, okay, or add you as a friend. So don't. That's not me. Does your YouTube go over what options trading is or how it works? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not as organized as the workshop, but that costs money. So, um, yeah, I did it. What'd you do? So, William, all right, we'll look into that, man. Do I ever keep track of win streaks? I don't keep track of them. I just see them. You know what I mean? Like this week is going amazing. Um, or last. I mean, uh, April, May. Fucking amazing. 2, 3 win streaks with like some speculative trades not working out. But other than that, I mean, what does compression look like on your chart with your strategy? Compression is just boxes. It's just sideways action. Anything like that is compression. 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 And before every big move, it comes compression. So if you can that's why I tell people when you strike when the hammer's hot, strike it and then back the fuck off. Because I don't always know what the fuck is gonna happen next. Even as SPY goes to its highs, like what does this fucking tell me? You know what? If this thing goes like this, though, right? Then I'll trade it. It's very easy. All right, guys. Well, real quick, I hope everybody does go and check out the Substack. It's fresh. You don't have to pay for it. I will do free post, but most of the post with the real value, the long term equity plays and stuff like that, it's $50 a month, so it's cheap. But other than that, if you don't have the workshop, quit fucking around. No, I'm just kidding. But if you don't have the workshop or you haven't gone over my YouTube educational playlist, you're playing yourself. Do yourself a favor. Go through that workshop or go through that educational playlist on YouTube and learn this strategy if you haven't. Yes, I did. I go check out the YouTube. I'll post this as soon as I get done. It's 2 hours and 24 fucking minutes. So, but yeah, I'll post this in just a second. So, but anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time.